Hey, what's up, everybody? Tonight is a good night. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Mario Day, March 10th, right? If you've been seeing that on social media, March 10th, MAR10, Mario. So, because of that, I've got my Mario mug tonight, my item block mug. Because we are going to be playing some episode Gladio DLC. Talked about it in my class today, so if you are watching from class, either in the video on demand or whatever, if you're watching live now. Oh, hey, Senorita, welcome. Yeah, the music is good, isn't it? The music's really good. This is the episode Gladio music. I'll go ahead and put it on the main screen so you can see it. Yep, there he is, good old Gladio. So tonight, like I said, we're going to be playing episode Gladio. This is the first of the downloadable content. It's the bonus side stuff. And so let's bring me back up again. This content is going to be useful for us because it's going to build out Gladio just a little bit. We're going to get to see a little bit of his stuff. Tonight we're deviating a little bit from the biblical narrative, and we're actually going to be looking at some of the ancient Near Eastern Mesopotamian myths that surrounded Israel and that really tempted many of the kings, David, Solomon especially, to leave the fold of God, the people of Israel's religion, Yahweh, and delve into some polytheistic sort of things. We remember that in the Torah, God commands Moses, you shall have no other gods before me, which is interesting because it wasn't so much don't have any other gods, it's no other gods before me. And so it's kind of a shocker that the nation of Israel did not begin as a monotheistic society. They believed in a number of gods. They just believed that their God was the greatest and the strongest, Yahweh or Jehovah or Elohim. So we'll be looking at some of those myths that were tempting for the people of Israel. If you've ever wondered why Israel struggled with like the prophets of Baal or as we'll see tonight, different myths in the ancient Near Eastern arena, it's because they were surrounded by these cultures and nations. So with that, we are going to be looking at just a taste of things. Gladio, the last time we saw him, he had been questioning himself because of the fact that he couldn't protect Noctis from Ravus, if you remember. And we'll kind of get a recap at the beginning of the DLC. But he's been doubting himself because he's the shield of the king. He's supposed to be the protector, and if he can't protect, then what happens to Noctis? So, with that, this is a pretty quick DLC. We're going to dive into it tonight and have some fun. Plays a little bit differently than the rest of the game. So, let's go right into it. Could I do a New Game Plus? Is that a thing? I'd love to play New Game Plus. Nah, I guess you can. That's okay, though. We'll go New Game. And we're going to play normal. I really like this DLC. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for us. Not too much. Just enough. Okay. I'll try to make myself a little bit smaller as well. After suffering a humbling defeat at the hands of Ravus, Gladiolus embarks on a journey of self-discovery, and his destination is the Tempering Grounds.
I'm stuffed. My compliments to the chef.
My pleasure. Did you enjoy your time with the Marshal?
Mm-hmm.
What's that thing on your face?
This?
Yeah, X marks the spot.
That's just a scratch. The other guy got off a lot worse.
Worse than looking like some kind of thug?
Speaking of which, who was this other guy?
They call him the Blade Master.
The Blade Master. We don't need a combat tutorial. Actually, I might. It's been a minute since I've played this. So, we'll see.
Gladio? Yeah, who do you think it is? Catch you at a bad time?
Oh,
Are
Gladio.
you here yet?
Yeah, I'm at the crow's nest.
Good. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me.
Sure,
So, are you ready to move out?
of course. What about you? Are you mentally prepared?
Of course. I'll be right over.
So, Gladio Core. The Immortal. We'll get to
About
find out
time.
why he's the Immortal in this episode.
What'll it be?
Just the water's fine. Thanks.
Allow me to ask you once more. Are you sure you're ready to take on the Blade Master?
I went up against the High Commander and got my ass handed to me.
To say
I
the
didn't
least.
stand a chance. And I never will unless I get more power.
Then answer my question. Are you ready or not?
You think I would have called you here if I weren't?
So you're ready to face death. Gilgamesh awaits challengers in the deepest recesses of those ruins.
Gilgamesh.
It's been 30 years since we uncovered the caves. We've sent countless expeditions, but all of our efforts have afforded us no rewards. And no survivors.
Except for you. You undertook the trial, and you made it back alive. Barely.
Let's move.
All right. So, this is a story about
Did you tell your
Gilgamesh.
friends why you were taking off?
Just said it was business. Didn't want him getting all worried about me.
Or knowing your pride took a beating?
Okay. Let me make sure I've got my controls right. Yeah, we're type C. Good. Let me make sure everything's good here. Defend, attack, defend, glaive arts, jump. Good. Got it. So this is a story about Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is popular during the days of the ancient Near Eastern religions. You've probably heard of the Epic of Gilgamesh, probably something you read in high school, something like that. They take a lot from that epic and that series of poems and the Sumerian poems. So tonight we're going to be looking at some of those things. One of the most popular and the earliest is the Gilgamesh Enkida in the netherworld or the underworld. And so we're going to be talking a lot about Gilgamesh, death, and facing all of that as the shield of the king. Oh gosh, I thought his name was Russian or something like Rapscallion or what's the game? Rasputin? Is that his name?
All right, I've got this. No turning back now.
No turning back now. I forget his name, Senorita. Okay, listen, we're going to play a little bit of a game in that there are items strewn throughout this. Oh, like this one right here. And I would love if you helped me to find all of them. I think there are 50 in all. We have 2 right now. Gargamel, that's right. Yeah, not the same as Gilgamesh. So I want you to look at some of these things. This is some environmental storytelling. And so we are going into the place of the dead. Lots of dead soldiers here that have tried to take on Gilgamesh the Blade Master and have failed, as you can see. Strung up from the rafters here. You see them. Oh man, that guy is impaled through his feet. This guy through his neck. Kind of gruesome stuff here. So we are up against a formidable foe. Also, you gotta love the
Not for long.
guitar of Gladio's stuff here. I love it. Also, I love fighting with core, right?
These grounds.
Following our during death as in life. Not where our souls remain. Clinging to the vestiges of our past. Why? To test those determined to become the king's shield. And prepare them to inherit the power they pursue.
Prepare to
The Blade
inherit
Master's
the
men
power
have
they
sworn
pursue.
their loyalty both before and beyond the grave, scaring off the unworthy.
Then they'd better prepare for disappointment. I don't scare easy.
Okay. So this is the test that people go through to become the shield of the king. To become the shield of the king. Just making sure I've gotten all the items here. I wonder if there's one at the very beginning. Probably. Ah, I got it right here.
It's all yours, Marshal. Well,
Hey.
don't mind if I do.
This DLC plays like a like an old arcade brawler. It's super fun. I really like it. Nice. Oh, big roll. 3. Again, I think there's 50. I'm not sure about it, but okay. Guess we're gonna go water sliding.
Only way to go is down.
Ah!
He ain't going down without a fight.
Ugh.
Just like I taught you. Ready? And raring to go.
Yes, Gladio. Dang, Gladio. Wow. Love that. So let me stop right there for just a second. In a lot of cultures, including Mesopotamian cultures and a lot of mythologies, there are known, there are these large serpents that oftentimes guard, especially places of the underworld. Sometimes they guard extraordinarily sacred places. And so it's common that since we fought I think that one was called Brun Sormer, a giant serpent, just guarding the underworld. So nothing too terribly crazy there going on, but just an interesting piece of Mesopotamian theology. Let's keep going. There is Gilgamesh.
You come to prove yourself worthy of my mantle?
Mm-hmm. We do.
I do. I am here to undertake the trial of Gilgamesh.
What is it you hope to glean?
Power. And you're gonna give it to me.
Is that so?
Ooh. Big hit. Dodge, bub. Woo. Ugh.
Brute force alone does little to impress. Only he who possesses both muscle and metal of equal caliber deserves the honor of fighting beside the chosen king as his sworn shield.
Now that's a big moment. Only he who possesses both muscle and metal of equal caliber deserves the honor of fighting beside the chosen king as his sworn shield.
You saying I don't?
Remembering that moment with
Great
Ravens.
evil threatens the people of your world. It is but the King of Kings and his shield who can safeguard their lives. All those unworthy or unwilling to rise to the task meet their end here, by my blade.
I ain't meeting mine anytime soon. This trial hasn't even begun.
If you do not fear death, then go forth with reckless abandon, and prove your worth.
You are ready for this.
In that case, let the trials begin.
Okay.
So the Blade Master.
He's a master of blades. What? Were you expecting something profound?
The Blade Master. He's the master of blades. Indeed he is. Indeed he is. Ah, there's an item. I think that's what, 4? Can I bust boxes? No, I can't. No, I can't. Any other items that we see? So obviously I was supposed to lose that particular battle. I don't know if there's a way that you can win. I've never done it. Oh, there's one. Anything over here that I should get? No, no. If you see any shinies, just let me know. We want to be able to get them all. Nice. More death. We love it. Lots of death everywhere we go. And a campsite.
Time to take a load off. Might as well take a break.
Cup noodles. Nice. And nobody to take our pictures. So sad. And I guess we'll go right there. That's fine.
The Blade Master isn't here to train you. He's here to test you. He won't go easy on you just because you joined the Crown's Guard.
So, big moment. Gladio is being tested by trials, just like Noctis is. Noctis is being tested by the kings of old and the gods, the 6 astral gods. Gladio is here to be trained by Gilgamesh, to be tested by Gilgamesh. And unfortunately, if you fail the test, well, you die.
So, no mercy for newbies like me.
We absolutely want to hear more from you, Core. Hey, Michael. Happy Thursday.
So what? The weak aren't worthy of serving as shield?
In his eyes, the weak aren't worthy of living. All of them are fools, punished for aspiring beyond their station. I was a fool back then, too. And I was punished.
but you weren't killed. Maybe you weren't worthy of serving a shield, but he must have seen you as worthy of living.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Okay. So that's a...
That was much more than a soup.
Yeah, it's cup noodles, my friend. So, again, back to what they were saying at the campsite. Kor faced Gilgamesh, underwent the trial of Gilgamesh, and lived. That's something that we kind of need to remember here. And we'll learn a little bit more as we go
Keep
on.
your eyes and ears open.
Done and done.
Michael, how are you today? It's great to see you. Thank you so much for hopping in. All right, everybody, take note of the things that we are fighting. They're like zombie, undead, skeleton monsters, right? Which, based on this, there's a pretty solid hypothesis that we're probably in the underworld at this point. So there's going to be a big theme of death in this DLC, a big theme of can Gladio beat death? Let's see, let's look around a little bit more. We good? Okay. And continue on. All right, big jump here.
Your skill is impressive.
My climbing skill.
You may have the strength to defeat the darkness. But do you have the spirit to survive these trials?
You have the spirit to survive these trials. Happy early spring break. Yeah, this is the last thing that I am doing before spring break begins next week. So I wanted to go ahead and get this recorded for my class. I have zero intention or expectation that my class is watching this tonight, because they are probably on their way to the beach at this point. Reapers. Though if you are in the class and you're in the chat, just give me a shout out or something like that. Let me know you're in here. Oh, we've already been this way. Come on, man. Come on, man. Kor knows where we're going. After all, he's already done this trial once. Where are the students? They are at the beach, Michael. They are out enjoying their lives as they should on a Thursday night.
Too slow.
So you guys, oh nice! Hey, we do have people from class. Welcome. Glad that you're here. You don't leave till tomorrow. Nice.
Any last words?
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Mr. Smith, how are y'all doing tonight? Wear sunscreen. Yeah, wear sunscreen. That's good life advice. This class is holistic. We're trying to give you all the tips, knowledge, and just basic life skills. All right, again, more soldiers that failed the trial and swords run right through their chests. More right up here. Yay for spring break. Indeed. Okay.
What's this?
A trial chamber. The hand-holding stops here. Good luck.
Amen to that. Just so you know, your professors want spring break as much as you do. All right, this guy.
Prepare yourself.
This
young
guy's
warrior,
name is
for the
Nurgle.
trials that await.
Let's stop right here for just a second with this epic music in the background, because I want to talk about this guy. His name is Nurgle, and all of the bosses in episode Gladio have something to do with Mesopotamian deities and theology, oftentimes coming from the Epic of Gilgamesh, sometimes from other Sumerian poems. So let's talk about Nurgle. Nurgle is the god, Mesopotamian god of death, war, and destruction. In fact, some manuscripts show that Nurgle is a god who is essentially the god of the underworld. He rules the underworld. No one can come in or leave without Nurgle's particular consent. So, why are we learning about him? Well, he's the first boss in episode Gladio, which means we are delving deep into the underworld here. Nurgle is guarding us from going into the realm of the dead, and Gladio has to overcome him in order to go forth and face death. The role of the king, the shield of the king, is to protect Noctis, or to protect the king from death. And so Gladio has to come face to face with death, death himself, or death itself, in order to truly be proven worthy of being shield of the king. And this is the first boss, Nurgle, the god of the dead, of war, and of the underworld. Nurgle's also associated with Mars, the planet, so some later relations to things like gods of war in Babylon, Persia, and obviously in Greece and Rome. Without further ado, let's keep going. Let's actually fight Nurgle.
Prove your might, and our power shall be yours.
It is not Mr. Smith. It is not. Oh my gosh, we gotta get out of here. Get up. The real enemy is the camera that we are struggling with right now. Ooh, good dodge. Let's use a potion, how about? That'd be fun. Oh man. Big dodge. Man, I cannot get away from these guys. There we go.
Try this.
Not too menacing to you. You're a brave one, señorita. There we go. I honestly think that they used episode Gladio as a test run for their new game, Stranger of Paradise, which kind of plays like a Neo, or not exactly a Dark Souls, but that same kind of brutal sort of action gameplay. Get these guys out of here. Oh my gosh. Stranger of Paradise comes out next week, and you better believe that I'm going to be streaming that as soon as I get a little bit of time.
Our power goes with you now, young warrior.
Oh, thank you. The first of the Soul's trials.
Stand tall, for the shield of the king must kneel in subjugation before no man.
Well, Noctis.
Thanks for the advice.
Regis told me to walk
And
tall.
for the pick me up.
Well, you made it out alive. Your first trial may have ended, but many more await you on your road to an audience with the Blade Master. Prepare yourself.
All right,
Better rest here while I can.
we should. Let's have a
Might as well take a break.
chat with Kor the Immortal over some cup noodles I would love some cup noodles right now. That would be really tasty.
My father never undertook the Trial of Gilgamesh, did he?
Gladio's father, Clarus, the shield of the king to Regis.
No. You want to know why?
Absolutely, I do. Tell me more. There you go.
I do. I mean, it can't be because he was scared, right?
Not of the trial. He was scared of failing as leader of the Crown's Guard and as shield of the king. He couldn't leave his majesty alone, weakened by the wall as he was. After all, what good is a shield with no one to protect? What about you? Worried about leaving your majesty alone?
A little. But I'm gonna do what's right for me, like my father did what was right for him.
All right. I love these
Back
little
to the trials.
bro moments with Core and Gladio. I do love this area. Once we beat Nurgle, we can really see kind of the like life and death sort of thing. We're in this liminal space, kind of like we were in Styleth Grove in the last stream with Aranea.
How long has it been since you undertook the trial? 30 years or so?
Give or take. I was a lot younger than you are, and far less experienced. It's a wonder I even made it out alive.
30 years or so, which puts
This
Core...
place look familiar to you?
Vaguely. The younger me had little mind for taking in the sights.
Core was 15 years old when he undertook the Trial of Gilgamesh. He was the youngest one to ever undertake that trial. He's 45 now, and he made it out alive. Ah, beasts. Love potions. I do love this. Kind of a cool scene here. Ah, now we can use, whoa, 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 everybody chill. Now, this is not the best comparison in the world, but it's very Samson-esque, using pillars. Except instead of Philistines, we're fighting against wyverns and beetles. Ah, cool. There we go. Yeah, use the pillars against the shelled enemies. Oh, here's a big one. He's red. He's angry. No match for the pillar, though. Run over there. Get him. There we go. I got you, Core. You may be immortal, but bruh, I'm incredible. Can we put it down? Yes, sir, we can. Let's see. Can we change Gladio's gear? 100% we can. Tank top? Shirtless Gladio? Folks, what do you want? Can we change Core's gear? Nope, he's just Core. Tank top? Shirtless? Or open jacket? That's the real question, isn't it? These are the questions that we should have as a class, right? Crown's Guard fatigues gives him the most HP, but the most strength goes to Shirtless. Interesting. Boosting his strength and perception while reducing his vitality. We'll give it a shot. If we start to die too much, then we'll swap out the strength for other things. Look at the ridiculous tattoo on his back. Wow. It's like a bird. It is a bird. All right, Gladio, let's go. More death. Lots of dead soldiers here. Okay.
Another trial chamber.
And another chance for the warriors to impart their wisdom. It won't come easy, though.
Here we go. All right. Next up we have Enkidu. Enkidu. Let's talk about Enkidu real quick here. Enkidu is from, again, Mesopotamian mythology. There's a much longer story. I'm going to give you just some of my notes on the story, some basic things about it. Enkidu was created by the Mesopotamian gods. Lots of Mesopotamian art depicts him as having like parts of like limbs of a bull and like the body of a human, and all this kind of stuff. He has a superhuman kind of strength. So the gods of the great pantheon, they create Enkidu to challenge Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh has become quite a proud and arrogant king, and the gods are wanting to humble Gilgamesh because he's become this whole thing. And so they create Enkidu to contend with Gilgamesh in a wrestling match, and it culminates in a wrestling match where they fight. They go back and forth, Gilgamesh and Enkidu. And by the end of it, he is equal to Gilgamesh. And Gilgamesh actually overcomes Enkidu. But then, after the fact, Gilgamesh and Enkidu become best friends. They become dear friends in this, and they journey around together. The story of Enkidu continues a good deal, but the big thing here is that Gilgamesh and Enkidu are close. When we are talking about this, I want you to think, if Gilgamesh is the king, if Gilgamesh is kind of the strength or the quote chosen one in this friendship, then Enkidu would be almost like his shield in some ways. Now, I don't think it's exactly that similar to Gladio and Noctis, but there are some parallels that we can kind of get there. So there we go. With that, those are just some of the basic pieces. Also, the gods get really upset that their creation, Enkidu, becomes best friends with Gilgamesh, the one that he was supposed to kill. So there's that. Do I think that the bird tattoo means anything, or is it just cool? You know, I don't know. I think it may just be cool. But I could think about that a little bit. Not really sure. All right, let's fight Enkidu.
How many moons has it been since our last visitor? Far more than I can count.
Ooh,
Let us see how our latest challenger will
good hit. Ooh, that was... Can we run back here? There were some columns somewhere. There they are. I want that. Get up. Smashing Enkidu. There we go. Heck yeah. That was good. Oh, man, I gotta heal. Ooh, no. Let's use a Phoenix down real quick. Ooh. Ow. This guy sucks.
Try this!
Big hits right here. Dang.
Any last words?
Get him, hit him again. Back it up. Ooh. Wow, I dodged that? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I'm on his back. Get him. There we go. Finish him off. Yeah. Man, that was awesome. This DLC is like pure adrenaline. It's like bro testosterone adrenaline. We just rode a freaking dragon bird. Maybe that's why Gladio has it on his back and his chest. That's Enkida. Alright, anything over here that we need? Is this another trial already? Oh no, it's the blessing of Enkida.
Venture forth, young warrior, bearing our hopes and dreams.
I will bear your hopes and dreams.
Look ahead.
Oh my gosh,
For
look at all these
the shield
guys.
of the king must safeguard our future.
Oh, Core, you're back. I missed you, my friend.
The skills shared by these souls have been passed down for generations. The shield of the king would do well.
Ooh, good hit. Ah! That was good. Ooh, not that buddy. Nice. There's a thing. To the next trial. Know thine enemy. That's the name of the quest. That's kind of a cool thing. Okay, can we stop jumping and pick up the pillar, please?
Gotta say, this place ain't like anywhere else in Lucis.
Nice. I do love the use of the columns.
You're mine! Let him have it!
Oh, I need to heal. Now where are we?
Thousands set foot on these grounds. All of them fools, unprepared for the dangers lurking within. They all meet with the same fate, as will you.
I don't think so.
Think what you may, but I know otherwise. The Lucis you call home is nothing like the Lucis I once served. Your age has forgotten the horrors of war, coddled by the king, and drunk off the complacency of peace. No shield worthy of defending the true king
ramp.
could be born from such depravity.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Look on the bright side. Everyone loves an underdog.
Thanks, Core. You don't think I'm an underdog, do you? Ah, more wyverns. Come on. Ooh, my gosh. What is going on here? That is a big dude. Is Core helping me anymore? Whew. Yes, he is kind of helping me. Why don't we... Yeah, he's a high person. That'd be fine. A Bandersnatch. Big dude. How about we get a pillar? That would be really fun. There's one. There we go. Nice. Hit him again. Ooh. Ow. Ugh, this guy. I love the constant grunting in these fights. It's like, ooh.
It's all yours, Marshal. Well, don't mind if I do.
I don't even know if we hit the actual boss here.
Any last words?
We did hit him a little bit. Yeah, I gotta get those pillars. These shelled guys are ticking me off. Maybe we can kill the Bandersnatch first. There we go. Ah! Got him. Ugh, those guys were annoying. Oop, wrong way. Next campsite.
Will you stand tall? Even when your flesh fails you? Or will you fall to your knees?
Well, we'll see. Can I pick this up?
Pathetic.
These guys are way easier once you beat them with a pillar, but I guess anything would be easier with that. Oop, missed. Oh, there we go. If only I had more problems that I could just throw pillars at. And then they'd be solved. Hard and fast. Whiff. Alright, we done? Drop it, Gladio. God, what a workout. Do you CrossFit, bro? Do you carry pillars? Do you destroy your enemies with giant stone pillars, bro? It's amazing Core's so strong, seeing as he's got those little chicken legs. Core definitely skips leg day. But then again, he is the immortal, so maybe it's good to skip leg day. Who knows? Oh, a campsite.
Time to take a load off.
It sure is. Let's do it.
Might as well take a break.
How many cup noodles does Gladio have? Bum, ba, da, 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 da.
Never thought I'd make my way back to the tempering grounds.
You
Same.
said it's been 30 years. Were you as immortal then as you are now?
If you want to know, I'll talk.
Oh, we want to know. We want to know everything about you, Kor, the immortal.
The Blade Master. What was he like?
I don't remember much, except for those eyes. They pierced my heart and peered right into my soul. It was like he knew my every move even before I did. Try as you may, there's no fooling those eyes.
We'll see about that.
That was much more than a soup.
Cup noodles. Right, so you get the impression that Kor is called the Immortal because he faced death and lived. He faced Gilgamesh, the Blade Master, and failed the trial and lived. His immortality is just that. It's the stuff of legend.
Muscle and metal, both finely tested. Should he lack either, the shield will shatter.
Ah, Michael, amazing.
You're mine. Let him have it.
Hitting. Whoa, whoa. Okay, didn't even need the pillars. That is the power of Birdman Gladio. Assuming from his back tattoo, at least. Oh, keep walking, buddy. I do not know how he fights and moves around in these, like, leather pants. That is just... Ah, here we go. Here's a new guy. So I'll tell you a little bit about this guy. This is yet another kind of underworld being, essentially another guardian of death. Nothing too terribly interesting about, oh my gosh, except for the fact that he is ripping me to shreds. But he's not really a boss, I would say. He's just a weird wall demon. He's annoying is what he is, I'll tell you that.
It's all yours, Marshal. Well, don't mind if I do. Any last words?
Good Matrix reference. I don't know if anyone saw the new Matrix movie, but nice counterattack, Gladio. Ooh. There we go. Hey. Good job, everybody. The Soul of Valor. Interesting name for an enemy.
The ultimate trial awaits. Prove to them you are prepared to serve as the shield of the chosen king.
Good hit.
Pathetic.
Ooh. Yeah, I can definitely see the early influence that Stranger of Paradise probably had from this. I'm really excited about that game. I think it drops next week, March 18th, I think. Ooh.
shield of the king must deceive none, not even himself.
Not even himself. Did I
Yeah.
miss any item?
Easier
things
said than
in here?
done.
I didn't see Matrix 4. It's kind of on my list. I'd like to see it, but let's go ahead and top off our health. Stranger of Paradise, I'm really excited for. It's gonna have to wait a little bit for me. Elden Ring's kind of taken up so much of my free time. Okay, let's hop down here. All right, next boss is right down here. And this is a big one. This one that I want to talk about for a minute. Oh, here's another. Nothing over here? Interesting. Oh, there's something.
The shield is bold,
All right, this is
speaking before none.
Humbaba. Humbaba. So, if you are familiar at all with the Epic of Gilgamesh, Humbaba is a beast that roams in kind of this sacred wood, a cedar type wood. And I'm going to read some actual lines from the Epic of Gilgamesh. It says that, like I said, Humbaba was a guardian of the cedar forest, and he was a guardian of this kind of area where the gods were said to live. And so it was by the will of one particular god, Enlil, E-N-L-I-L, who did the following. He said he assigned Humbaba as a terror to human beings, and Gilgamesh and Enkidu eventually faced and ultimately defeated this great enemy. Here are a few pieces about Humbaba. When he looks at someone, it is the look of death. When he looks at someone, it is the look of death. Humbaba's roar is like a flood. His mouth is death and his breath is fire. 100 leagues away, he can hear any rustling or movement in his forest. Who would go down into his forest? Another translation says this, that Humbaba had the paws of a lion and a body covered in thorny scales. His feet had the claws of a vulture, and on his head were the horns of a wild bull. His tail and his phallus each ended in a snake's head. This is a pretty gruesome creature, as you can tell from this. It says, where Humbaba came and went, there was always a track where the paths were in good order and the way was well trodden. Through all the forest, a bird began to sing. A wood pigeon was moaning, a turtle dove calling in answer. Monkey mothers sing aloud, a youngster monkey shrieks like a band of musicians and drummers daily. They bash out a rhythm in the presence of Humbaba. Okay, so this gives you kind of like this poetic imagery of who Humbaba was or is. But Humbaba is essentially a guardian of the gods, And here, Gladio is going up against Humbaba. Now, it is important to note here that Humbaba is, kind of the guardian of this sacred cedar grove or forest. And Enkidu and Gilgamesh go up against Humbaba. And I want you to, I want to read just a little bit of this. Is in a later portion of the Epic of Gilgamesh. It says this, Enkidu, Gilgamesh vowed, since a man cannot pass beyond the final end of life, I want to set off into the mountains to establish my renown there. And Gilgamesh went to offer Humbaba a series of gifts while beseeching him to allow the king to find his hidden home in the cedar forest, saying, couldn't I get close to you and your family? Just hand over your terrors to me. I want to become your kinsman. As Gilgamesh proceeds, Humbaba hands over his, quote, terrors. And the gifts given by Gilgamesh are a ton of things. His older sister, his younger sister, to be both wife and then another to be concubine. Gives them a number of different materials, some shoes, and some rock crystals as well. So then, while Humbaba's guard is lowered, Gilgamesh approaches him from behind, as one does with a snake, and he made as if to kiss him, but then punched him on the cheek with his fist. Defeated, Humbaba appeals to a receptive Gilgamesh for mercy, but Enkidu convinces Gilgamesh to slay Humbaba. And so in a final effort, Humbaba tries to escape, but is ultimately decapitated by Enkidu, or some versions say by both heroes together. His head put in a leather sack, and it's brought to Enlil, the god who set Humbaba as the forest guardian. And Enlil becomes enraged upon hearing and learning of his death, and redistributes Humbaba's terrors or horrors to the world. So after this is a really, really interesting piece here. Enkidu, for killing Humbaba, he is given a curse that ultimately ends in death. Enkidu dies as a result of their confrontation with Humbaba. Now, there's a lot of different translations, a lot of different things that come into be, but Gilgamesh at this point has suffered a great loss because he has lost his closest, his dearest friend. And this is a really important piece, I think, for our discussion, because what happens when you're not able to protect your friend? And so, in some respects, Gladio aligns himself with Enkidu to protect Noctis, or Gilgamesh in this case. But in other cases, Gilgamesh is unable to protect his friend from death, even as he is pursuing immortality and fame. And I think that these are important lessons for Gladio to learn. Do you have what it takes to overcome the trial that Gilgamesh and Enkidu failed? They were not able to preserve the life of both of them. And so Gladio's coming face to face with the reality that what happens when death comes for your friend? What happens? Are you able to stop it? And Gladio is kind of suffering with that, struggling with that here. So with that, let's dive back into the gameplay, and we will fight Humbaba.
Waste not the arsenal at your behest.
Ooh, ow. Ow. Ow, again. Wow, that hurt, Humbaba. That hurt a lot. Get him, Gladio.
Any last words?
Nice. Get him. Back it up. Oof. All right, let's mosey. Get up. Ow, I want that pillar. I want it. I need it. There we go. Hit Humbaba with the pillar. Boom. Again. 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 Ow. Let's high potion again. How about? Oh no, we got a Phoenix down. Dang. How could we let this happen, Gladio? How could we? Get him. Hit him. Wow. But he definitely missed me, though. Come on. Get up, Gladio. Okay. We're just going to use all of our potions here. Nice. Now bust through. Slash him in the head now.
Try this.
This will be good. There we go. You're done, Baba. Yeah.
Any last words?
Boom. Whew. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. See, I think this stuff is super interesting, but like the game is so bad at explaining like all of the different connections, and I guess they want you to do what we're doing, kind of researching it a little bit.
Final trial awaits you.
By the way, all of the information that I've gotten, like I literally pulled some things from both, like the original kind of text from some of my old textbooks that I've used in class before. But a lot of this, most of this stuff is on Wikipedia as well, and you can just Google these guys. And,
Nice work.
So it's available.
Maybe you've got what it takes
as
after
well
all.
if you want to learn more.
Maybe. But it ain't for you or me to decide.
True. And the Blade Master is a more formidable foe than any you faced thus far.
That's true. That's unfortunate, because we have used a lot of potions and
Time
Phoenix
to take
Downs.
a load off.
Bow, bow, bow. Okay.
Well, what about you?
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.
I want to know what was going through your head back then.
You that interested in me?
Yes, I'm very interested, Core. Tell me more.
I mean, you were a lot younger than I am.
And a lot brasher, too, if you can believe it. Wouldn't listen to a single word anyone said. I thought I was invincible. No one could stop me. Until he cut me down to size. I was cast out in defeat, my hubris laid bare for all to see. You really are immortal, they said. And it stuck.
That's rough. Still, you made it back alive. Something no one else has ever done. And I respect that.
That was much more than a soup.
Say it one more time, Core. Yeah, it was cup noodles. We get it. I love that scene there because you see that Core the Immortal is actually something that he bears with shame. Because he went in as a 15-year-old, as we oftentimes do when we're 15 years old, thinking that you're invincible, thinking that you can't be touched, and then he kind of got his butt handed to him. But because of his kind of courage and his ability, he made it out alive. So that is to his credit, I suppose.
Come here to die, have you?
Okay.
You looking to die again?
You amuse but do not impress. You lack his conviction.
Whose?
He who traversed these caves some 30 years ago. Turning a deaf ear to our wails and wishes, he proceeded unfazed, eyes ever forward. Yet he proved powerless before the general, cast out in defeat. If even he could not succeed, I see no hope for you.
That guy must have left quite an impression when he laid it flat on his face.
So yeah, it's talking about himself. So, hey Spyrus, how you doing? Ah. Nice.
Ferris would have tried to stop you, you know. Just like he tried to stop me. All those years ago.
How come?
Because one aspiring to the role of King's Shield can stake his life for none but his liege. Not even for himself. Do you dare risk all for naught in return? His words stayed with me. And he was right. I barely made it back with nothing to show for it.
So you gonna stop me?
No, I won't. But I will warn you one last time of the danger you're about to face. Just like your father warned me. Once you set foot through that door, there's no turning back. And no one to help you if you fall. One false step and it may prove your last.
I'll be fine. Maybe I'll come back with a souvenir.
Just come back alive. Be safe, Gladio.
I love this scene for a number of reasons, because Kor is basically doing a gut check with Gladio here, saying to him, you know, if you are not doing this for Noctis, if you're doing this for your own pride, if you're doing this just to test yourself, then you're good as dead here. You're as good as dead here. But if you are doing this to become a better shield to the king, then you're going to be, then you stand a chance. This reminds me of a scene in 1 Chronicles chapter 11. 1 Chronicles chapter 11 tells us of King David's mighty warriors. And I'm going to read just a few bits of it. Starting in verse 10 of 1 Chronicles 11, it says, "These were the chiefs of David's mighty warriors." Gladio just sneezed. Okay. "They, together with all Israel, gave his kingship strong support to extend it over the whole land." And here is a list of them. One was named Jashobeam, and this was a chief of all the officers. He raised his spear against 300 men whom he killed in one encounter. So there's one warrior. Next to him was Eleazar, one of the three mighty warriors. David had appointed three mighty warriors that stood head and shoulders, again, above all the other warriors he had. He was with David when the Philistines gathered for battle at a place where there was a field of barley, and the troops fled from the Philistines. But they took their stand in the middle of the field, and they defended it and struck the Philistines down. Now, then there's this story, and I think this is really interesting and it's pretty pertinent to Gladio here. It says, 3 of the 30 chiefs came down to David to the rock at a cave of a place called Adullam, while a band of Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was in Bethlehem. David longed for water and said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So he's thirsty in the midst of this battle. And so the three warriors broke through the Philistine lines, drew water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. So again, they were in essence undergoing a trial for the sake of David, similar to how Gladio is undertaking this trial for Noctis. Now, here's how that story ends. When they bring it back to David, he refused to drink it. David refused to drink the water. Instead, he poured it out unto his God, the Lord. "God forbid that I should do this," he said. Should I drink the blood of these men who went to risk their own lives? Because they risked their lives to bring it back, David would not drink it." And these were the kinds of things that the 3 mighty warriors did for David. There's another story that's kind of interesting. Abishai was the chief of the 3. He raised his spear against 300 men, so he became as famous as the 3, and he was doubly honored above the 3 and became their commander. And there are more and more stories of all of these warriors. So we talk about relationships of a king in my class. We talk about the relationships that any good king has. And a good king has 4 primary relationships. A good king is going to have a prophet who is going to anoint him or her and is going to serve as their counsel and conscience, and finally is going to discern the word of God or the deity to the king. That's the prophet. The second person that every king needs to have is a protector. This is the Gladio type. Somebody that's going to protect them from the rest of the world around them. Somebody that's going to serve as their shield when they cannot defend themselves. This is almost like an older brother type. They're going to give the king a hard time and put the king in his place, but they're not going to let anybody else do it because it's their job to strengthen the king. The third relationship that every king and every person, I think, needs to have is a good advisor or strategist, somebody to go to for advice. Ignis serves that role for Noctis. I think that David's wife, Michal, Michal, David's wife, Michal, serves that role for him in his story. And then finally, every king needs to have a close friend, a peer, a best friend, a brother in arms, or a sister, for that matter, who is just their kindred spirit. For David, it is Jonathan. For Noctis, that is Prompto. These four relationships, the role of prophet, Luna, or Samuel for David, Gladio is the protector, or the three warriors for David, advisor, Ignis or Michal, and then finally Prompto as the best friend, or Jonathan, Saul's son, as the best friend for David. All four of these are incredibly important. What I'd also say is that what was important for David, what's important for Noctis, is also pretty important for you and me too. I could list the people in my life that have been each of those things for me at various times, and my life is better because of their presence in my life.
You better be ready for
So,
me.
one more word about prophets, because some people are like, I don't have a prophet, I don't need a prophet, I'm a king. A prophet is somebody that believes in you, and believes in what you can be. A prophet is going to name someone as the future king, and I think that's really important. We all need somebody in our lives that believes in us bigger than we believe in ourselves. Luna believes in Noctis. You are the chosen king. Samuel believed in David, who up to that point had been a musician and a shepherd boy. And for me, there have been people in my lives that pushed me to higher heights, believing that I could do and make something of my life more than I ever did. So, anyway, my 2 cents for you tonight. And now, let's go fight Gilgamesh.
I'm here.
Brandishing your brute force.
Yeah. Let's see if you can handle it.
Ooh, ow. Get up, buddy. Oh no. Got magic swords. Notice all the swords of fallen warriors around him. He's called the Blade Master for a reason. Back it up. Woo. I'm trying to roll like in Elden Ring. It is not quite working the same. Ooh, back up.
Look how you tremble.
I ain't afraid of you.
With every passing second, the fear in your heart grows greater still.
So what do I do?
Ah.
Just roll over and die?
Yes. Why else would you have come here if not to join the other lost souls?
Because I've got what it takes. And I'm gonna prove it.
Also, great remix of the Gilgamesh theme from Final Fantasy V here. So good. Back it up. Dang it. Potion? That'd be great. Oh boy!
Blind reliance on strength alone reveals your weakness of will. Countless past disappointments met their end here. And so shall you.
No. I didn't come here to die. I came here to prove to you I'm worthy.
Oh, we got rage. Back it up. Woo! That hurt. Ow. Ah. Dang it. Another. Back it up. Ooh. Come on. Good hit, Gladio. Ah! Good block, Gilgamesh. Ooh, let's heal. Come on, shield. Ah. Heck yeah. Ooh, a second arm.
You are strong, yet so long as fear binds your heart, the power you possess is wasted on you.
It's thought that Core took off his other arm, so kind of interesting.
I've still got a few tricks up my sleeve too. Ain't no way I'm backing down now.
There we go. Come on, get him.
Nothing can stop me now.
There we go. Hit him again. Back it up now. Big dodge. Woo! She's a potion. Ow! Jerk. Ah! And that's how Gladio got the scar. There we go. Ah, get up! Ooh, back it up! Ah, get up, Gladio. Got a shield better than that.
Try this.
Come on.
Any last words?
Nice. Got him.
I kneel before no man. Not exactly the souvenir I had in mind. It took me a while, but I realized something. You're right. I am afraid. Afraid of accepting the fact that maybe I'm not really cut out for the job I'm expected to do. But hey, at least I'm not walking away empty-handed.
Ooh, got him. His core cut off his arm.
I better get going. I may be all muscle and no metal, but I'm gonna keep protecting Noct the only way I know how.
Spoken like a true shield of the king. Fear and doubt beget death alone. He who averts his gaze from his own faults cannot himself a true shield call. But you, having made peace with your inner self, have proven you are worthy. The chosen king should be so fortunate as to have a man like yourself serving at his side.
You mean?
And with this glaive, I entrust my power to you.
Where did you...
Taken from the young man who impressed me with his strength of will. It was with this very blade he stole from me my arm.
But... I can't accept this.
You're
if
right,
he still
Smith.
walks among the living, a man of his mettle will have doubtless transcended attachment to mere material possessions.
You're probably right. In that case, don't mind if I do.
Now, hasten forth, with mind unclouded by doubt and will unmoved by fear. The last king of Lucis is ill fit to fight without his shield.
Gotta get
Thanks
back
again.
to Noct. So in case you weren't able to piece that together, Gilgamesh was the first shield of the first king. And now he's bestowed that title through blessing to Gladio.
You made it.
Sure did.
And so quickly. I'm impressed.
Brought this back with me too. Figured you might get a kick out of it.
I wondered where I put that thing. Keep it. Makes for a better souvenir than that scar.
New sword!
You know, he mentioned he lost his arm in battle with a real hot-headed young guy back in the day.
That's so.
Whoever it was left a lasting impression on him. Talked about how the guy had the strongest will he'd ever seen.
Takes more than will to complete the trial. You need to wield your weapon with a primal finesse. If you fail to prove your might, you get cast out empty-handed.
I don't know. He didn't seem to think the guy would let it bother him. Said the guy's too old to care about material things anymore. If he's still alive.
Ouch.
Gladio.
Huh?
I hope you feel more confident in light of your success today. Few men can lay claim to such an accomplishment. Not even Kor the Immortal.
Yeah, but I didn't earn myself a badass nickname like he did. Still, I'm glad I went through with it. I can finally say I'm truly ready to fulfill my duty.
Good.
Well, I guess this shield better mosey on back to his king. Wouldn't want him to get scared without me.
He's been at a mausoleum of the dead, so he's probably pretty scared. It is a warm episode, isn't it, Michael? Yeah, his shirtlessness is definitely the key.
So that's how you got it.
What do you think?
Very perpendicular. Really compliments the one you got when you saved Nock from that bully.
Yeah. Only difference is, this time, I ended up taking a pretty bad beating too.
Not unlike the licking the Marshal received back when he was a lad.
Must have had a lot of guts to go up against Gilgamesh back then.
Yeah, Dad said he used to be a real firecracker.
The more you know.
If the Blade Master sequestered himself during the Founder King's reign, then he's haunted those halls for some 2 millennia.
That's a long time.
All those years waiting for the chosen king to arise. You sure know how to take your sweet old time.
What can I say? I'm worth the wait.
Give me a break.
And I as well.
Just because you got a shield to protect you now doesn't mean you get to slack off. But if you do, I'll be ready.
Ah, isn't that great? What a great episode. What a great episode. Absolutely love it. So, just a couple of things before we close out for the evening. So a question that I would pose to you is, why do you think that Square Enix, in their grand knowledge, decided to put Gladiolus against all of these Mesopotamian and pre-Babylonian gods and deities? Why do you think that would be the case? Clearly, they are at least knowledgeable in some ways of the biblical narrative of the Old Testament, following David's story with Noctis. So why did Gladio, the shield of the king, go to face these deities? Why do you think? I'll give you a second to answer. While I vibe to this sick music. Yeah, Elijah, that's a great point, Spyrus. Elijah called forth a contest between the prophets of Baal and himself, the last prophet of God, or of Yahweh, rather. Yeah, and so they tried to summon fire from the skies, and it was a contest saying, you know, whichever one of our gods answers our cry for fire, you know, that one is God, and Elijah comes forth. So yeah, there's definitely that piece. In the Prophets of Baal, Spyrus, you know, the Prophets of Baal, they were formerly, formerly, you know, had been prophets of the Most High God of Israel, right? The Yahweh or Adonai. And so it's important to kind of think through this idea of a king's worship, the king's allegiance. One of the key tenets of the law is that you would have no other gods before me. And yet the greatest temptation, Gladio to be tested. Yeah. So they wanted Gladio to be tested. I think it's really interesting they test Gladio by introducing these Mesopotamian pre-Babylonian gods. And this is why. The greatest temptation of any of the kings is to abandon, quote, the Lord their God, as the Old Testament says. Many of the kings and the downfall of the nations of Judah and Israel is due to their embrace and adoption of other gods and other religious cultures. Now, again, the polytheism of the Old Testament Israel is well documented. It's very well known. But it doesn't mean that they aren't held to a standard of put the Lord your God as revealed through Moses and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, put that God first. And so the biggest way that we see this is with King Solomon. King Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines, which speaks a lot to his wealth more than it does to his relationship successes. But of those women that were in his life, most of them were from conquered nations, were from other nations that his influence would expand. And with the presence of those outside influences, he became much more adopting and accommodating of other religions in Israel. And that's a really important piece to remember here. So here's the point. Gladio faces these others because a good shield for a good Old Testament Jewish king is to be shielded from the influence of those other gods and those other nations. And so Gladio goes to the heart of this. Gladio faces those other gods. And I think that's a really interesting symbolic thing. I'm not saying that's exactly what they wanted to do, but I do think it's a really cool theme and symbol, that if Noctis is going to be the one to fulfill the kingship in the Judeo-Christian archetype, then he must be protected from these influences that might lead him away from his identity, his personhood, and all that kind of stuff. So that's just something that I found particularly interesting. I wonder if Solomon had had a Gladio, or if Zedekiah or any of the kings that really fell prey to idolatry. I wonder if they had had a Gladio, would their fate have been the same? Could they have been a more successful king in the Yahweh or Israel Jewish covenant sort of people? So, kind of interesting stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Michael, I wonder. I think that you're right. I wonder if Noctis was upset or hurt during the abandonment of Gladio during that period of time. Yeah. It's like, why is he doing this? And this DLC reminds us that Gladio is doing it for Noctis' sake. He's doing it so that he can better protect Noctis in the long run. And so he entrusts their care for at least a short time to Ignis and Prompto, and as we know, also Aranea, though Gladio doesn't know that at the time. He could have certainly been useful in Staleth Grove and the Vesper Pool quest that we did just the other night, but no, it's good stuff. So anyway, that's episode Gladio, everybody. That's a fun little side quest. Next week is spring break. If I stream, I will probably stream some side quests of Final Fantasy 15, but I'll probably stream some Elden Ring as well, so take a little bit of a break. And then we will jump back in with Chapter 8 of Final Fantasy 15 in just a couple of weeks on that Monday night. I'm going to put something in the chat for you to go and check out. It is a YouTube video. If you have not seen this before, one second. I'm going to put the full link here for you. The Final Fantasy 15 has an accompanying anime series that you should definitely watch. It talks a good deal about the different guys. It's a 5-episode cartoon anime featuring Gladio, Prompto, Ignis, and Noctis, and so kind of give some backstory to them. We watched Gladio's episode in class today, and it was really cool, really heartwarming. It really makes you care for the characters. So if you haven't watched that, click on that, and it'd be a great way to end your night tonight. Whatever you do, if you are going on spring break, have fun, be safe. I can't wait to see you afterwards. We'll all hopefully look a little bit more tan than we do right now. But if you are not on spring break, if you're going to work and all that kind of stuff, thanks for hanging out. It makes my day anytime any of you hop in. The fact that y'all choose to watch me on a Tuesday or Thursday just play video games and talk about the Bible and history and stuff, it makes my day. I'm truly blessed by you all. So thank you so much. If you if you follow, if you subscribe, thank you so much. I do this because I love the content, but the things that y'all do for me by following and subscribing is just so cool. So thank you so much, and I hope that you, SPF, yes. SPF, big yes. Protect that skin, senorita. That's right. Well, whatever you do, stay safe. Y'all have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you soon. Bye.